Okay. Oh, I was going to turn on some tunes just to give us some background music. And it's not playing. There we go. We got something. Hopefully it doesn't play anything goofy. Um sorry guys for those that are usually tuning in that I haven't been on in a while cuz I didn't do one stream because I was so far behind on getting ready for events since I had like 3 events in 4 weeks. And then some personal stuff happened, and oh, and then my microphone broke, and I couldn't stream because I didn't have my microphone. It'd be a lot harder to record. I didn't want to do a lower quality stream, and so yeah, I will basically just go back to where we left off with the lake monster with the kitbot. I think I just finished working on the getting a lifter version set, and now I just got to get the spinner version. And so what we're gonna do is, so I already created the configuration, and then we're just gonna suppress any component that isn't for this configuration. And it's gonna be, yeah, it's gonna get rid of that. Press. Okay, I actually don't hate that. Oh, we still got some more screws. Because yeah, the whole idea of this is to sort of teach people without having to. Shouldn't rename. Spinner upright. Made this. I am gonna have to make some edits to this because I changed some things since I last did it. Luckily, though, it should mostly just be to the mounting. Is it gonna let me make this linear? There we go. That's what we want to hoping for. Need to make things line up the way they want. I should change this because I don't want that. We're actually gonna delete that. I think what we actually want. What determined this height? What did I do to? I think I just made it. Either way, because what I wanted to do is I want to have something in line with that. Essentially, I want to make this in line with that. Perfect. I think. Do I want to go lower? Because I could make this. No, I think. No, actually, we'll see. We'll exit for a second. Because I think this leaves it so it's high enough. Oh, yeah. There's not going to be a screw. Oh, no. I didn't think about that. I see something. because I have it mounted differently. Because the top is currently going to collide with this. Yeah. That was a mistake on my part. This is why this is kind of shows exactly why I wanted to do the do this version at the same time I did the other version, so I can find stuff like this. Granted, the top is like a really small part, but we could theoretically have two different tops. Actually, now that I think about it, it might make more sense to have two different tops. Actually, I think I might do that because I'm going to want something going across here. But actually, no. When I think about it, the problem is there's not a screw hole here, so this is just like a flap there. So I do want to move the hole here in. Or I could just add another hole. There seems to be enough space. So I could do two different tops still because I do want the top to go across and act as a rigid part. Actually, while I'm at it, I want to add a configuration to this just to make it so it's like a dead. I want to add a configuration to this spinner. That way it can show the whole circle of it. And essentially what I'm just going to do that, and then just convert that, I guess. Put it up to there. And then what I actually want to do is I want to make this a different color. That way it's that way I don't forget. If I go to this, oh, that's not what I want. Either way, it still accomplishes what I need to accomplish. And then we'll change this configuration here. That way we know if we create any other. I do plan on running this at the Indianapolis event. Yes, that's the plan. Hopefully I can get it working by then. Because I'm not going to be able to really start doing much with it until after June, or at least after the start of June. Because I'm going to be doing NHRL prep pretty much all this month. Okay, see ya. So yeah, I think I want a hole. I just mirror this. Actually, before I mirror this, we want to add some holes. Actually, wait, before I do that, I need to edit. Otherwise, I know it's going to get angry at me if I don't. Because I need to do this part. That way, that's all lined up there. that. And then we're actually just going to do through all because I'm pretty sure I lined it out. Wait, I don't have any bottom holes. What am I thinking? That'll be fine. Actually, no, we don't want to. I'll do blind. 10 millimeters will be fine. And then we want to add. Do the same thing here, essentially. I basically want to do that the same size. Wait. I may need to adjust these dimensions at some point. Oops, not that. Because I know how... Actually, no, these should be the same. What? Okay, it's weird that equal, isn't it? What did I make these? Go. 3 millimeters. I don't know why. I guess we'll do it the old-fashioned way. Make this 3 millimeters, like the other holes. Cut. This should actually be a lot quicker than the other ones. I will have to make a hole for the electronics to go through. We'll worry about that in a moment. Just gonna do that. I was probably gonna do primarily PLA plus for this. I like to keep it simple. I don't overthink it. Maybe at some point I might. I know some people like to use ASA or ABS for the spinner itself. I might try that. We'll see. Kind of. I don't like to be super try hard with. Oh, I didn't actually cut it. I don't like to try super hard with plants because it's sort of much. That's kind of not the point to me, at least. Obviously, like every fight, I'm going to be trying to win the fight, but I like to use it for sort of trying new things and not having to sweat things so much. And so I worry more about the designs and stuff than I worry about like deciding what material I'm going to use. Because also with my thought process with a plant is I want it to be, cheap. So I'm not going to buy a bunch of extra rolls that are just for that. And this is meant to be a kit so I can, or meant to be like a design that I share with other people and sort of, so I can my more educational videos, I can pretty much just connect to this design, and so it's a lot easier for people to follow along without me, sort of giving away my own CAD, because stuff like the CAD for Hodag and Bigfoot I'm a little bit more protective of, but I want something that, I don't want to be as protective of. Okay. We'll do it this way. Actually, no, I don't want to create a separate cut. I'll use the cut I already made. Why is it not letting me? Oh, it's because I'm in a sketch. Essentially what we're going to do. We're going to keep it stupid simple. Do a little further out than actually. Do 8 that way to keep it kind of away from that screw hole. I think I'm gonna give myself ample. Nah, I'm gonna give myself ample space to let the electronics go through. Yeah, I actually haven't done that with any. I guess my only, because my first ant was I started with a plastic ant and made it a full combat. I've never done the other way around. I'm actually going to add. Oh, Daisy's deciding to join in. What I want to do actually is I want to. Sorry, there's a cat. I wanna make some holes here, so I can essentially just for zip ties in order to keep the because this wire for the hub motors right here, I want to essentially keep that out of the way. Eh. You have to be in the video if you're gonna come up here. Oh. Eh. She didn't like that. Sorry, I got distracted. Jesus Christ, you two are immediately fighting. Okay, perpendicular. I'm just doing that so I can have a frame of reference. Oh, okay, I don't want to cancel that. I didn't realize it. I thought it was that we were perpendicular. We were not. Parallel. This just collinear with that. Achieves two things. Actually, before I even do anything, I'm just going to make that and that equal. Not that. That. Well, that way we're just... Okay. Make this kind of thin. Then we need to do... Because I want this one... Oops. Pretty much... Oh, Control Z. I don't know what I did. To prevent this from frickin' breaking, I guess I want to do... Okay, what the frick is that? That is not... Picking random dimensions, I guess. What the fuck are you smoking? Oh, that is 7. Damn, that's a lot. That's too many millimeters. It's way more millimeters than I need. I need like 3. This is literally just to protect the wires. I'm gonna go where it is based on vibes. And then from there, do that, and we're gonna just round to it. Actually, that feels like not enough. That feels like not enough, actually. Feels like too much. From here, we'll just do a little bit. Okay. This actually feels a little close, that top one. What is that even measuring from? Do two. Is it actually no one? I want it to basically be right up against that. That way it's sort of keeping in place. And now we need some, we want to add some fillets, some small ones first. This is basically to just kind of reduce any stress concentrations. And makes it look a little bit cleaner, to be honest. And I was going to do a slightly larger one. That's... Damn it. So actually what I want to do... Actually, ideally... Suppress this. And we want to put the fillet before it. That way it's not actually reaching that. Actually going to do 3. A little bit more. That way. That way the hole's not going through that fillet. Oh yeah, I need to mirror it. I just want to mirror pretty much the whole body. Merge solids. Oh no! Oh, I didn't save like any of that. No. Fuck. That's diabolical. To reopen it. No. This sucks. We're thriving. Yeah, I don't think I saved since I pretty much... I didn't save anything since I started. Fuck. Yeah, I basically have to do everything I just did. Like 20 minutes of work down the drain. Tragic. Yeah. Feels bad. All gone. Yeah, for a moment. Suppress these. Yeah, all my progress gone. We're gonna save it now I'm gonna save like every couple minutes. Okay, so we're doing this. This freaking sucks. Watch me do this all over again. This. I mean, making the tires wider does, in theory, add traction, but it doesn't help if there's not enough weight on the tires. And that's because that's also a big factor is how much weight is over the tires, not because making it wider, if there's not enough downward force, because a lot of times it's like weight distribution. So changing the weight distribution could actually help more than making the tires just wider. Because in theory, you don't actually need that weight of tires. Oh my god. Cats are fighting. Honestly, yeah, I'm gonna change that. Oh, this is not running brush. This is running this one's running N20s because I'm trying to keep it simple for this one and cheap. I think if I make a sweaty version of this robot, it would run the brushless like tangential drive, but this version, no. This is meant to be as simple as possible. I realize that other than the weapon, this might theoretically be able to run with the oh yeah, that doesn't wait, what? What did I do here? What I want to do is this up. Something's not right. Oh, this is coincidence that shouldn't be there. But yeah, I do like the idea of something like this using tangential, but this is a N20 with a gear. Because I figure if I'm going to run N20s, it needs to be indirect. And I figured if I'm doing indirect, I may as well have 2 wheels. It's just sort of my thought process on it. I don't know if I have 4-wheel drive. I definitely don't have 4-wheeled tangential drive figured out. Because my plant that was running tangential drive was not ideal. It wasn't driving straight. I certainly have driving 4-wheel drive. I just now at the last event got Hodag to drive straight. Because at pretty much at every single event up until SEMO, it was not driving straight at all. SEMO is the straightest Hodag has ever driven. Probably why I got second. But yeah, this will be the first drive where I've done like the gears like that. So, I mean, I certainly will have it done all the ways to do 4-wheel drive after this one. This year I'm basically just doing trying a whole bunch of different things and sort of learning a lot of things all at once. And then I'm thinking next year it's going to be a lot more refining and a lot more of focusing on fewer bots. This year I've been worrying about entirely too many bots. And the sheer number of bots is why we're probably not going to see Ozark Howler for a bit. This is 26. Or is it 24? Might have been 24. Ironically, this would be my first regular 4-wheel drive vertical spinner, and it's not designed to be. It's a design that's specifically meant to not be competitive. Boston Tea Party. I'm curious is there a backstory to the Boston Tea Party? 'Cause that feels like a weirdly specific name for a robot. I'm curious what the backstory on that is. that going. Yeah, I'm not sure if this robot's going to be good because the Indy might be its first event. Otherwise, it might be like that Peoria event, that SEMO Peoria event. We'll see. But now I'm going to save a bunch of times after it died. What are you flipping tea bags with it or something? I could probably put the weapon a little bit lower than it is. I realized I didn't put design bunny ears, which I might want to do. I don't know. We'll see. Film another bots in the harbor. I wasn't sure if you were practicing on tea bags or something. Have a clip or put a tea bag into a thing of tea. I think this is probably good. Screw through that. Millimeters. But 8 millimeters. You have a pretty consistent naming structure for all my robots. That's the nice thing about having it's built in the team name, all of my robot names. Just a matter of, what cryptid can I connect to this robot? And I definitely feel like some robots have a stronger reason than others. Actually, now that I think about it, basically none of my robots, there's not like a direct, I can't say I have a good reason for the names of any specific cryptid I've picked. Well, there's like meanings behind why I picked it, but not necessarily connected to the robot itself. Because Jackalope looking like a Jackalope was actually at its second event. And that was me taking the name and making it look like a jackalope from a design that didn't look like a jackalope. Why cryptid? What's a cryptid? You don't know what of all the things I thought I'd have to explain, a cryptid is just like Bigfoot is a cryptid, or Mothman. Those are basically a beast. It's not a mythical beast, but like some sort of animal where its existence is in dispute, essentially. There's some doubt on whether it exists or not. Usually it's like not quite a mythical creature, but definitely because like there are people that believe in cryptids. Like cryptozoologists are the guys that are looking for Bigfoot. And the name of the team came after the name of my first robot. Because the first robot was Bigfoot. Well, technically it's Little Bigfoot, but I planned on making an ant called Bigfoot. But I decided to make a fairy first and called it Little Bigfoot. Yeah, urban nip. Chupacabra is another example. I've thought about I haven't gotten to name anything Chupacabra yet. Oh, I don't want to merge. That's fine. Yeah, because Bigfoot was the first one. Because I actually came up with the name Bigfoot for my first lifter, and then named the team after Bigfoot. Pretty much was the order of that. Wait a minute. Oh yeah, because I didn't. It changed it. I made changes to this too. Oh yeah, there's entirely more cryptids than you would think. Because basically every culture and every country has some cryptid. Some are talked about less than others. Il Grande Maha. I like to make my weapons red because, like, in my brain, it's like, oh, I need to check for where things collide. Even though I never actually make the weapons red in real life, in the CAD they are red. Make that hole a little bit smaller. Oh, that was part of the boss extrude? Interesting. Did I originally plan on putting a bearing there? Yeah, there's also lots of sea creatures and lake monsters. I actually named this one, the file name's Lake Monster, is because I plan on having different configurations of it, and they're going to be named after different lake monsters, or actually different names of different lake monsters. And theoretically, if other people wanted to, they could name their versions of it after other lake monsters. I don't know if people actually do it. Like, I'm not going to make anyone do it, but yeah, because there's like a lot of lake monsters. There's a lot more lake monsters out there than arguably there needs to be. Actually, what am I going to do for the top is I'm going to do a configuration for the top. Actually, no, we're going to start from scratch. I changed my mind. Actually, no. No, I don't want to. The thing is, I know. Actually, we're going to. Also, what the fuck was I doing here? I definitely changed this after I made the top. We're going to make this transparent. Oh, I did. Yeah, I didn't realize Spark had a active weapon rule. I never thought about that. Because MRCA, I think, specifically doesn't have one. Also, that would be a really frustrating reason for it to like not be. Stop and spin. Yeah, I do think having rules like the um I need to read the spark rules actually. I realize I don't know if I've read the spark rules because I've it's been because I've never really had. Is that like on your robot or is that like if you have a multi-bot? Actually, before I get into this, I want to make a whole. This is supposed to be equal. Okay, I need to actually look up Spark rules, I guess, because I hadn't been thinking about that. Crap, I didn't actually change. I need to mirror that. Because those I feel because I guess I make robots that are actually very simple, or not simple so much. They don't deviate. I never deviate so far from the norm that I have to worry about the rules. I'm gonna say my robots are simple, but Hodag is not simple. But it and honestly, the biggest rule I realized I had to worry about is that NHRL I think wants a weapon lock for like every moving part essentially, but Hodag's weapon, as it is, um, Hodag's weapon as it is, like it needs. I wasn't using a weapon lock until like the last couple events for the punching mechanism. I was only for the spinner. I was like, shit. If I'm gonna go to NHL, I need to do that. Oh, saw weapons? Yeah, I don't have. I've never had anything that was a saw like weapon. But yeah, I have to. I should probably read up on it. Not so much for any specific bots I have, but those are questions I should be able to answer. Because I think I definitely been to events that use Spark rule set. Oh yeah, because a lot of events I go to, they don't. You don't have to lock your lifter or flipper. Especially, I think lifters, because it's like, what am I gonna do? Pinch my fingers? Because I actually was worrying about that at my first event. They're like, "What are you doing? You don't need to do that." But I guess it makes sense. But I think especially because you could it's a lot easier to have a blanket rule than it is to be like, well, actually, this one it doesn't because of this. Because a lot of times having fewer interpretations of the rules is kind of ideal. Of this design, by weight, um, hard to say. I mean, probably the spinner itself on this version of it. So luckily, that's not too far away from the front. Like it's not too long, but because N20s aren't very heavy, so there's not going to be very much weight on these wheels, other than basically the battery. But yeah, I'm not because I haven't made a spinner like this, so I'm not exactly sure how this is going to react. I don't think I measured that to the thing I wanted to measure it from. I'm realizing the most annoying part about this design is the drive and having it run on gears and having a screw that goes through these Lego tires while trying to like actively avoid using any what am I trying to say? This is a the basic bitch one everyone uses. Um a uh a 2822. This is like a regular 2822. Cuz I did that for two reasons. One, it's really easy to get your hands on. It's a pretty standard size for a lot of ants. And when you upgrade it to a full combat ant, you can get the finger tech weapon and just run like the finger tech vert thing for the viper vert. You could grab that weapon and slap it on there with ease. Because I'm not just considering myself when I'm making this design. That's not how I did that, was it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've not been doing this. Yeah, I've been doing this a couple years now. There's definitely more experienced people than me, but I've definitely been trying to get my reps in recently. I've done a lot of CAD work, but because I sort of had, I feel like going in this as an engineer, I kind of had a leg up or like a head start. That, that, that. Mirrored about the right plane. Oh no. I meant to do this. I like this. This is me doing a bad practice, but I like generally prefer to do everything on the right side and then mirror it over. But with sketches, that you mirroring it over all at once isn't the issue. It's the fact that if I have to go and change something later, I'm gonna have to like go back and forth in sides, which is not correct. I'm gonna actually just could possibly be getting a phone call. 1 second. Sorry about that. I was not expecting a phone call. Okay. Let's. Doesn't bother me. I've got silly. Oh yeah. Oh, I don't. Yeah, I don't name my bodies, but I try to like. The thing is, like, when I have people watching me, I feel a much greater obligation to do things the correct way, because it's like great good practices and whatnot. Let me just. Okay. Do some fillets. Sorry about the phone calls. I'm not used to having to worry about people calling me during this. But yeah, I think maybe after I finish the top plate, I might call it for the night. And I'll have to... I don't think I want to put... I can't really put a fillet there. Okay. If you've ever seen me work on the CAD for Hodag, I do anything to Hodag and the computer just hates it. Oh, I'm missing a couple fillets. I have 2 switch holes, not because I plan on using 2 switches, but okay. See ya. I'm glad you could join me. Yeah, I like to put 2 switch holes. One, well, that way I don't have to worry about it being upside down when I place it. Because a lot of times making something symmetrical, even when it doesn't have to, can pay off. Because that way I can't put this on this sideways, because I've done that before. Where it's like, oh shit, I don't have access to the switch because I put it on the wrong side. I think I'm going to call that for now. It's been a while. I'm glad people could tune in. Actually, before I do that, I want to get it, see how it looks without that top, or the other top. Okay. That way you can get a better idea of how it looks. Okay. And then I'm going to change this back to the original configuration. So this is how the spinner version's looking. And the idea is that is to give people sort of a body to work with, and to sort of give people the basics, try to get as much basics. Because, like, yeah, I could have done direct drive for these motors, but I felt that it accomplishes what I'm trying to do better if it's in direct drive, because that'll teach people things that'll carry on to other stuff. But I think I'll definitely take a look at this again next week to sort of just and maybe do some weight assessments and sort of clean things up. But